Charles Darwin was a great British scientist, widely known as the originator of the theory of evolution by natural selection, a revolutionary idea that transformed the way humanity understands life on Earth. His full name was Charles Robert Darwin, and he had no historically famous nickname. Darwin was born in Shrewsbury, Shropshire, England, on February 12, 1809, and died in Down, Kent, England, on April 19, 1882, at the age of 73. He held British nationality, was raised in the Anglican faith, though his views later evolved into agnosticism, and came from an English ethnic background belonging to the upper middle class socioeconomically. Darwin came from a wealthy and educated family. His father, Dr. Robert Darwin, was a successful physician and businessman, while his mother, Susanna Wedgwood, came from the famous Wedgwood pottery family. He had 5 siblings and was the 5th of 6 children. His family highly valued education, science, and culture, values that deeply influenced Darwin from an early age. His mother died when he was only 8 years old, so he was primarily raised by his father and sisters. Darwin spent his childhood in Shrewsbury, where he grew up as a curious child with a keen interest in nature. He was not particularly outstanding in formal schooling, preferring instead to explore the outdoors, collect insects and rocks, and observe plants. He attended Shrewsbury School, but was not enthusiastic about the classical education dominant at the time. His talent and passion for natural science developed through personal exploration, especially in geology and biology, fields that would later form the foundation of his scientific work. After completing his primary education, Darwin was sent to the University of Edinburgh at the age of 16 to study medicine, following in his father's footsteps. However, he was not interested in the medical field, particularly due to his aversion to surgery without anesthesia. He later transferred to Christ's College, University of Cambridge, to study theology, with the intention of becoming a clergyman. It was at Cambridge that his interest in natural history grew stronger, especially after meeting Professor John Stevens Henslow, a botanist who became his mentor and played a significant role in Darwin's scientific journey. He also began studying geology seriously and conducting scientific observations. Darwin's career as a scientist truly began when he joined the HMS Beagle scientific expedition as a naturalist from 1831 to 1836, exploring South America, the Pacific, and the Galapagos Islands. This voyage provided Darwin with invaluable data and field experience to develop his theory of evolution. After returning to England, Darwin began writing and conducting intensive research for over 20 years. In 1859, he published his landmark work on the origin of species by means of natural selection, which explained how species evolve through the process of natural selection. Darwin's achievements were immense and far-reaching. His theory transformed the foundations of biological science and became the cornerstone of modern evolutionary theory. He also authored several other significant works, including The Descent of Man and The Expression of the Emotions in Man and Animals. Although his ideas initially faced strong opposition from religious institutions and conservative scientists, his influence eventually expanded to become a fundamental part of modern scientific understanding. He received numerous honors and recognition during his lifetime, although he never sought fame. In his personal life, Charles Darwin married his cousin, Emma Wedgwood, in 1839. They had 10 children, some of whom died young, while others went on to become scientists or intellectuals. Darwin was a loving father and a devoted husband. He often worked from home due to his poor and unstable health starting in midlife. Although he rarely appeared in public, Darwin remained active in corresponding and engaging with scientists from around the world. Darwin was not known as a social or political activist, but his theories had a significant impact on various social, political, and religious perspectives. Personally, he supported the abolition of slavery, and his family were strong supporters of the anti-slavery movement in Britain. While he was cautious about expressing his religious views, he maintained a scientific and ethical approach to life. He did not establish any foundation, but his intellectual legacy profoundly influenced science, philosophy, and even social ideologies. In his later years, Darwin spent most of his time at his home in Down House, Kent, where he continued to write and conduct small experiments. He died on April 19, 1882, due to heart disease. In recognition of his tremendous contributions, he was honorably buried at Westminster Abbey near the tomb of Isaac Newton, a rare honor for a non-aristocratic scientist. His funeral was attended by many prominent figures and symbolized acknowledgement of his extraordinary legacy. Charles Darwin's legacy is vast and profound. He is considered the father of modern evolutionary theory, and his name is consistently mentioned in discussions of biology, anthropology, genetics, and the philosophy of science. One of his most remembered quotes is, "It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change." His works remain educational and inspirational worldwide, and he is remembered as a great scientist who opened humanity's eyes to the origins of life and our connection to nature. Charles Darwin's legacy is vast and profound. He is considered the father of modern evolutionary theory, and his name is consistently mentioned in discussions of biology, anthropology, genetics, and the philosophy of science. One of his most remembered quotes is, "It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change." His works remain educational and inspirational worldwide, and he is remembered as a great scientist who opened humanity's eyes to the origins of life and our connection to nature. The life story of Charles Darwin is not merely a series of events and achievements, but a reflection of the human journey through the twists and turns of life, from failure to success, from doubt to conviction. Every step he took left a mark that not only influenced his own era, but also bequeathed enduring values that live on to this day. Through this biography, we are invited to reflect on the fact that behind every great name lies a long process filled with struggle, sacrifice, and the courage to rise after falling. Greatness is not something that arrives instantly. It is the result of unwavering belief in one's vision and life principles. May the life journey of Charles Darwin serve as a reminder that whoever we are and wherever we come from, there's always room to dream, grow, and give meaning. Because in the end, a good life is not measured by how high someone stands, but by how deep the mark they leave for others.